College programs must be competitive in name, image, and likeness. I mean, it impacts current athletes, affects the decisions of recruits, obviously. And Gators fans can help put Florida at the forefront of NIL. The Gator Collective is leading the charge for Florida, uniting fans and student athletes like never before. You can commit for exclusive content, interactions, and events which bring you closer than ever to your favorite Gator athletes. Also, by joining the Gator Collective, you're empowering these student athletes to build relationships and develop skills that go far beyond just making money. You're providing an avenue for these Gators to excel in life. NIL will change the landscape of college sports. It already has, and Gator Nation can't be left behind. Do your part by joining the Gator Collective today, www.gatorcollective.com, and they're the ones bringing you this interview here today on Locked On Gators.
You are Locked On Gators, your daily podcast on the Florida Gators. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Joining me now for Locked On Gators is Javion Toombs, who's here by way of the Gator Collective. So this is awesome to get to set this up. And you just finished your first year as a Florida Gator. It's in the books. What was your experience like just in Gainesville from your arrival to, I mean, now you're home. So your first time in Gainesville for the season.
Yeah. First time in Gainesville. I got here in May in the summer. It wasn't a lot of people, but like the people here were like very nice, welcoming, and then plus like the team, it was like a real good brotherhood, like everybody was like together as one. I mean, and then like with Coach Napier, he was like real big on like, bringing people together, like playing as a team and stuff. So that was like another booster, like another extra to that, the little familyhood, just making it feel like home, like feeling like the place to be.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, one thing that Coach Napier's done that I thought was awesome was that he's always said, like, I care more about, like, loving your brother instead of hating the enemy across from you, because you're way more likely to fight hard if you're protecting your family or you're protecting your own instead of just, we're going against them and I hate them. So that's one thing that he did that he said that, like, I've always loved.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
That's just an awesome way to go about it. But you've got a very distinct story, and if I'm not mistaken, you are the first player that I've had on Locked On Gators that has this story that we could actually talk about, where you joined Florida as a priority walk-on player. So as a walk-on player, just what was that like to kind of go through? And we've seen, obviously, Billy Napier has made it very clear. He's like, we want to have as many priority walk-on players as possible. Like we want to give them their shot. We want to have them on the roster. We want to have the full 85 scholarships and then max out with walk-on players. So just what was that process like for you to join Florida as a priority walk-on?
Coming in as a walk-on, it's like, a lot of people expect it to be like worse than what it is, but it's like you really feel like you got a scholarship. A lot of people didn't even know, like, I didn't have the scholarship until like, they asked for something. So it's like you really feel like a part of the team. It's really no different from having a scholarship besides like from a financial standpoint. But like other than that, everything like the same, you get treated the same, you get food the same, everything be smooth,
Yeah, and you also have a very distinct story in the sense that high school, you play linebacker, running back, and then now cornerback for the Florida Gators, which is a wild difference because you never see linebackers move to any DB, let alone to corner. You usually see like a slower DB come down to linebacker. So it's a wild transition.
Nah, yeah, it's crazy because playing in the 8A conference, I play linebacker. So we play like a good amount at school, but playing in the box and then going playing SEC corner, like that's a big switch because everybody fast in the SEC, so you got to adjust and adapt. So yeah, it was definitely a crazy switch, but yeah, I'm getting adjusted to it.
And I mean, obviously, like you played a bit of offense in high school. You lobbying for touches at any point with the Gators?
Nah, I mean, not as of right now, but if they need me, I could do it now.
I'm sure you're just like looking at all the kids hitting the portal before the bowl game. You're just like, hey, I mean, if I gotta do it,
For
I'm ready.
real. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's crazy because we had a lot of people hit the portal like right after the season. A lot of players.
Yeah, what is it like being on the roster? Because I've had I had Hayden Hansen on the show every week during the season, and I would ask him about this, and I'm gonna ask you about it too. What's it like just being in the locker room and it's just like, oh look, Josh Braun just like tweeted that he's joining the portal, and then as you got towards the end of the season, it was like, oh, we've got like 21 dudes hitting the portal. Another.
Nah, yeah. All right. So it's like we'll walk in the locker room, we'll have like workouts or practice later, and then we'll just see like a locker, it'll just be blank, like the locker gone. What is that? Whose locker this? Then we find out they're in the portal. But like, yeah, it'd be crazy. You just walk in the locker room, see just his locker gone. Like yesterday, his locker was there, but now it's gone. So yeah, and it just kept happening like a lot and a lot. We had like 22, I think it was, or like 24 now in the portal. So yeah.
Yeah, it's insane. If I'm not mistaken, you were in Las Vegas for the bowl game, correct?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I went to
Okay.
Vegas.
And just what was your experience like there, just from arriving in Vegas till the end? Just what was it like?
All right, so when we first like started getting close to Vegas, like I started seeing mountains. I never seen the mountain before, so that was already like a wow. And then when we landed, like got close to landing, we seen our hotel. We stayed at the Mandalay Bay, so that's made out of gold. And then right next to it, you got the America's Got Talent. And then a little bit behind, you got the Allegiant Stadium where we played at. And then like a little, it's the Las Vegas. The girls, the WNBA team, you got their stadium. So it's just a lot of big like arenas and like big places like right where we landed. So it's like boom, like like it's a big city, like lights, it's a bunch of buildings, bunch of people walking around. It was crazy though. Yeah, I like Vegas.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
was just
I gotta
as
go
I was
back.
asking the question, I saw your face and I was like, oh, he had a good time
Yeah,
there.
yeah, I gotta go back. Gotta go back.
Today's episode of Locked On Gators is brought to you by the NHTSA. So I'd like to think that I'm an open book here. So this one does touch home with me. I lost a teammate of mine in April 2021 to a drunk driver. So when you're hanging out with friends and putting back a few drinks and a few becomes a few too many, or even if one of your friends is doing that and then they want to drive home, don't let them. Just don't. It's dangerous. Don't do it yourself. The results are tragic and often deadly. That doesn't stop people from getting behind the wheel, though, because most people aren't like, oh, what if I kill someone? Most people are, well, I don't want to get a ticket. Try not to kill people. How about that one? Especially during this holiday season when it's pretty crazy out there right now. It's pretty hectic. So just be safe, drive sober, or get pulled over. And just getting back to the we talked about the transfer portal, and obviously as we're talking, this is the day before the early signing period happens. Just what is it like just being on this Florida Gators team, seeing specifically Miami fans? Because I'm assuming you're on Twitter at a certain point every day. So what's it like just seeing Miami fans specifically talking about recruiting stuff? Because I mean they also had an advantage because they didn't make a bowl game, so they had plenty of time to recruit.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's definitely crazy because it's definitely like a back and forth with our fans and the Miami fans. But yeah, the Miami fans, they always come harder. But Florida's the place to be. So we don't really care too much about it.
Yeah, that's what they can talk all they want, but only
Yeah.
one team made a post game, so it's simple as that. But you just finished your freshman year with the Gators, so how would you describe your play style to Florida Gators fans? And because again, this is new for you. You change positions, so this is a completely different thing for you. So how would you describe your play style for Gators fans, and if there's any NFL players you've been watching while learning how to play corner?
Um. So like switching from linebacker to corner, I'm more of a zone corner. So like I say like Richard Sherman, that's always been like somebody I watched since like growing up. So like yeah, Richard Sherman, I do my game a little bit behind. Yeah.
I like that you picked him because he is my favorite zone corner of all time. I was a very bad corner when I was younger, so I was like, all right,
Yeah.
I'm trying to do that. I was very bad, not an athlete on this side. I'm just letting you know that much better behind the microphone than on the field. Also,
Yeah.
but your brother Dwight plays for Florida Atlantic. He plays for FAU. Have you kind of been leaning on him at all while you've been getting up to speed going from high school to college?
Um, can you elaborate on that one? Like, what you mean?
Just like have you been going to him for advice on kind of getting up to speed and just
Um,
that
yeah,
adjustment?
yeah, yeah. Definitely like for like my recruiting process, I talk to my brother a lot. He helped me like he was just helping me with like the options I had and seeing like what else he could do for me with like the coaches he knew and stuff. But like, yeah, I say I did like get a lot of advice from my brother. Yeah.
And what's your experience been like just like with this coaching staff? I know there's 400 coaches for this team, but specifically with Coach Corey Raymond and Patrick Tony's defense, just what's your experience been like kind of just adapting to that?
Nah, so when I first got here, they told me like C-Ray was the new corners coach and stuff, and how he like a real good coach. But, I like to see for myself, so like I ain't just want to go in like, oh, he the best coach, but like he do like teach real good technique. He taught more than just football. Like he taught life with us in the meetings and stuff. So like, yeah, I definitely say he like one of the best coaches out there. Yeah, so.
Yeah, I mean he's got a great reputation and he's done nothing but back it up. So
Yeah.
it's hard to kind of give him any slack there. But I will also ask before I let you go. Right now we're recording this. It's December 20th. It's almost 5 p.m. So a few days away. What's the top of the Christmas list for you?
Top of the Christmas list. Yeah, like usually I have one though, but this year I don't even know.
Yeah, I think I'm the easiest person to shop for. Everybody's just like, hey, if it has a Florida Gator or the F on it, like then we're cool with it. Just
Yeah.
get them that. But I will ask you. I have one last question for you that I'm stealing from David Soderquist with the Getting Swamp podcast. Who he also does work with the Gator Collective, and I'm stealing this question from him. Who on the Florida Gators football team is getting coal in their stocking?
Cool in there stacking. Ooh. um. Ooh, it's a lot. I say if I had to choose one, I'm gonna go with JY Jordan Young.
Jordan Young.
JY, yeah, for sure.
Any reason that you want to elaborate on the show? Or
Nah, he just like I don't know how to explain it. Like he funny, but like he play a lot, so he definitely like, if anybody had to get cold, yeah, it'd be him.
all right, I'm all right. Thank you so much, Javion. This was Javion Toombs for the Florida Gators freshman corner. Now corner was a linebacker, was a running back. He's been moving a lot. He's the Swiss Army knife, Renaissance man, whatever you want to call him. But thank you so much, Javion.
No problem.